What's up guys, welcome back for another YgoPro duel video. Next match, Cross-Banlist Cup. Well, let's continue on the left side of the bracket. All the way on the bottom we have Performages and Pals, a decklist from 2015. Again, Master Rule 3. It's going to take on one of the decks from Master Rule 4, and that's an interesting one, right? So, the mechanic that kind of nuked the pendulum mechanic. But let's move on. So, Master Rule 4 decklist, Trickstar Sky Striker, right? A deck that, suffers from, well, it's like super, how do you say it, like super, it's consistent, especially with, the Engage, the triple Trickstar field spell and so on, triple Candina being the Stratos, but it's quite slow, it needs some setup, although it has access to triple Scapegoat, and that's something not to underestimate, right? It's a very powerful card. First duel going second this time with Performages and Pals, and that's, I feel a problem. I mean, as a deck that, or at least a deck that has the ability to, put up Shockmaster first turn against a deck that's heavily oriented on spells, you definitely want that, right? So, not really sure which deck has the advantage. To me, it felt somewhat 50-50. Going first was important, but didn't feel so important as it would have been in, like, other matchups. Obviously, it's always important, but, like, in some matchups, it's just far too crucial, and it will determine the winner. And like, the deck that wins like the rock, paper, scissors game. But now I felt that, well, okay, I feel that both decks would have like, an equal amount of advantage. But again, going second, and with Azathoth, I was like, well, let's go for Azathoth, you never know. But I think there was already one hand trap activated, not really sure, I think, was it Blossom? I think so. So I was like, well, let's still go for Azathoth just to make sure, and, going for Shockmaster, calling spells, right? I believe we knew there was the Engage in hand, I believe that was, searched out. I think so, right? So again, just making sure. And yeah, being, or at least Ignister on the board as well next to Shockmaster against a deck that definitely struggles with big beat sticks from the opponent, that's definitely very strong. So again, Zeus, or not Zeus, but Performages and Pals wins the first one. So going second again, and I sided in, I think, Twin Twister, Harpy's Feather Duster. I believe that's it. And immediately blow my opponent away. I believe one of the, at least the two sets were, I believe, the Trickstar Trap and a Heavy Storm Duster. Yeah, Heavy Storm Duster definitely very strong against, a Pendulum deck, even though I do keep in my triple Wavering Eyes, just to make sure that if my opponent has like that Heavy Storm Duster or maybe a Twin Twister on my, double Pendulum scale, you definitely want to have the Wavering Eyes. I have a couple of options here. I indeed had the Shockmaster play, but that would have led me with, I believe, no follow-up play afterwards. So I was like, well, let's go for the safer play, I guess, and that's, La Valval Chain with Zephyros, bouncing back the monkey board, and then, next turn, if the Key Turtle survives, I can get like a draw when monkey board is activated, plus a search. And Rafflesia as well, because again, Rafflesia has the ability to send one of, at least my only trap, I believe, yeah, I kept in the what's it called, the trap hole, the treasure trap hole indeed, to, like, free pops from my, at least for my opponent or against my opponent is always very sweet. So, I mean, that's cool. I mean, prevent your opponent from making those link 4s, right? Like Topologic, like Yugioh, again, very strong. Or Boiload as well. So again, getting Ignister on the field, and this should be game, right? Yeah, indeed. A very easy GG. So eventually it worked out, right? I mean, monkey board is still very strong. 3 monkey boards in your deck list, making sure that it's pretty much a 1-card scale. But again, going second, and my opening hand is, okay, Valor is definitely needed here. Prevent my opponent from getting back the Engage, but I mean, that's just, forcing out a hand trap, I guess, for the Trickstar engine as a follow-up play. I guess it prevents like a Yugioh draw 4 play, or maybe Topologic during the first turn, because that's definitely something I want to avoid. Sadly, Heavy Storm Duster does connect here, getting rid of my scale, and sadly, I do have to make this play, which I guess is okay. You know, like Plush Fire is the high scale, Pendulum Sorcerer is the low scale. Again, setting up my Pendulum scale, you know, like Pendulum Summon eventually as well. Rafflesia going for the Treasure Strapple, but the engage right from the top, yeah. What can you do? Getting the Surge and the extra draw as well, and you know, your Kagari getting another engage, another plus, and yeah, this should indeed be game over. I believe I got the beneficial 1000 life points thanks to Upstart Goblin, so eventually I do survive here, even though, you know, yeah, the level 3 indeed will connect, do some damage. Space Insulator will indeed hit the board. Basically, you know, like getting 4 free monster zones for Scapegoat to eventually be activated. And I can't use Pendulum Sorcerer effect, otherwise I'll just get the burn damage, right? If I'm not mistaken, I should be, yeah, indeed. And yeah, this is again game. I mean, Scapegoat during the end phase, I can just scoop up my cards, because any high attack monster is going to, you know, just lose me the duel. So 2-1. But now I do have the advantage to go first. So reveal the Draco Face Off. Ridiculous card if it's at 3. So again, run into Ash Blossom. Okay, that's fine. You know, there's still Monkey Board and Joker. Hopefully no Veiler, and there wasn't a Veiler, so I can put up a scale and go for a weak Pendulum Summon because of double hand trap. But that's fine, especially because both of the hand traps, so each one of them is Maxi. And well, against this deck, Maxi is very strong. You want your opponent to commit to the board. Kagari is indeed going to be stopped by Veiler. Another Veiler to stop the Candina, and another Veiler to stop another Surge. I needed that, because this kind of forces, you know, another like special summon with Phoenix hitting the board, losing the Turtle, I think. But I mean, it's Maxi giving me those beneficial draws, and I believe we can expect the 2 sets. I believe, yeah, we knew the you know, like the Widow Anchor being there, negating the Pendulum Sorcerer. Not really sure. I don't think we knew the last set, but I was like, well, it could be like a Trickstar trap, but here in this case we saw that it's indeed the Scapegoat, right? And even I think the not going for Shockmaster but going for Rafflesia always was a superior play in case of Scapegoat, for example. But I believe with any option, I mean, Scapegoat, you know, Rafflesia setting Treasure Strapple from my deck to the grave, it is always a very strong play, especially against a deck that's in this position, in this point of the duel, time of the duel, is very weak and desperately needs 2 like monsters to basically link climb, right? But again, you don't want to give your opponent the opportunity to link climb, and you know, you can just eventually attack for games. So Performages and Pals has this one, takes this one 3-1 against their Master Rule 4 deck. Master Rule 3 Pendulums do take this one over Trickstar Sky Striker. So definitely a solid matchup, and this brings us with a rematch from earlier. So again, Zodiacs versus Pepe. Yeah, I mean, it's going to decide, you know, which deck is going to move on to like the small finals on the left side. Next matchup, we have Thunder versus GB. Again, 2 decks from pretty much the same age. Okay, guys, that's it. Feel free to leave a comment or like if you enjoyed the video. Liam signing out. Peace.